And I'm going to start out just with a little personal history. And the secret to eliminating the vibration of fear in the body is to stay in the present moment in gratitude. And that sounds really simple. And it's easy for me. I've been working on this, and I think we all have, and I think that's part of our work. And to the Mayans, in Jose Arguelles' book, Surfers of the Zuvuya, he says that the Mayans see being in the present moment in gratitude and eliminating the fear is by sitting in the middle of the figure 8, the infinity symbol. And time repeats itself. Things repeat itself, and you just stay in the middle. And so that's the answer. So you guys can all leave now if you want. Oh, yeah, yeah. Yeah, where is that money? So I realized when I was thinking about how I would introduce this workshop that, could you close the door? Yeah. That'd be great, thank you. That I've been a nurse midwife for the last 18 years. And that when you go behind that door with that family in labor, you're right there in the present moment. And if you have 4 people in labor, you're in the present moment, every single room you go into. And that completely gets your body entrained to focusing. And every time if you see 30 patients a day or whatever, and you close the door and you are in the present moment with that person taking care of them. So I realized that that's really helped me get to where I am now. Hello, welcome. I'm going to give you a brief description of the time of what I consider my spiritual awakening, at least on a cognitive level. It was August 2000, and after months of burnout as a nurse midwife in a busy practice that was down 1 midwife, I managed to eke out 5 days in a row, which is a big blessing. I headed for the Algonquin Forest to a place near the abandoned logging town of Kiosk, about 20 minutes west of Mattawa, Canada. My friend Dr. Burroughs had lent me his cabin on the Amable du Fond River, fabulous place. The river flowed in front of the screened-in porch, and the cabin otherwise was surrounded by a full forest of red pine, which has become a very significant tree in my life. Okay, so here's what happened. I stood up one night and I raised my wine glass to the universe, and I said, I know there's more universe. Let me know. And wow, I should have fastened my seatbelt. It was great. So the next week I was back on call, and I caught a couple babies, as we say in the business, and then I went home to unwind. And I was still on call, but it was like 1:30 in the morning. So I'm channel surfing. And then to my surprise, Larry King Unlive was on. They were replaying a time when Sylvia Brown came on Larry King Live. Sylvia Brown?
Yes, with her son?
No, she didn't come with her son, but she was interviewed by him. And you know, they had the intercom where he would say, next caller, please. Somebody would call in, and then Sylvia, hi, come on in. And Sylvia would nail each reading. You know, she's got it. She's psychic and author. She's a fabulous woman. So she was nailing each reader. And so I'm kind of enjoying this. And then she's talking about spirit guides. Well, I'd never even had that concept. I've been a single parent of 3 sons and a midwife and a busy, caught up in that life. So I didn't pay attention. And then when I asked there at the Algonquin Forest, I started getting my answers. So then I learned about the spirit guides, which of course that's way back when now. It's amazing. So then Larry King had said to her, so you really see the spirits? And she said, yeah, as a matter of fact, there's a short man, bald man standing behind you, and she starts to describe, and he goes, next caller, please. He pushes that intercom button. It was the funniest thing I ever saw. It was great. All right, so, all right. So I sort of have considered myself a late bloomer because of that, because I know so many people who have been doing this for 30 years, but I was caught up in whatever I was caught up in. Well, I was delivering about 1,100 babies, and so I was doing light work. I was greeting them and telling them to remember why they are here and reminding them of their divinity. Okay, so timing is everything. And I was thinking, as a late bloomer here, it was August of 2000. So then I go to a Prophets Conference in Victoria, Canada, and Judith Bluestone Pollock is teaching there, is giving a seminar. And she said that she revealed that in August of 2000 there occurred the fulfillment of an Andean prophecy of a great spiritual awakening. It was precisely when I stood there in the Algonquin forest, so I was right on time for this next cycle. So it's kind of cool. So you got to trust in it. Judith also is the author of Return of the Children of Light, and another of her insights reveals in the book that esoteric teachings tell us that the divine aspect of the human form came from the stars, and that the cluster of the Pleiades provided the blueprints for human consciousness. Now, some of these things you may already know, and some things you may not. This is a kind of seminar where you could fall asleep and it's going to touch your cellular memory anyway, so whatever works. Okay. These blueprints may be thought of as actual codes of light that have been implanted within the human form. These light codes can be seen as divine thought forms that provide the catalyst that awaken in mankind the light that brings higher consciousness. The light codes within the human form may be viewed as spiritual DNA, as inner forces that trigger the process of enlightenment. In 2003, I was on the sacred mountain of Asangate in Peru with the Q'ero shamans, and Dr. Alberto Villoldo told us of the prophecy of the 7 cycles of decreasing choice in the Andes. Each cycle was 52 years long, which is the number of years in the Earth Pleiadian cycle. At the end of the 7 cycles of decreasing choice, the Spanish arrived, and that began the 9 hell cycles of impending doom, then again 52-year cycles. The 9th hell cycle ended August 16, 1987 at harmonic convergence. The human population had peaked at over 5 billion, the stock market was zooming upward and headed for a crash. Technology and materialism had conquered the world. The timing was exquisite, as reflected in Jose Arguelles' book, The Surfers of the Zavuya. He wrote on, and as if responding to a signal in their genetic programming, thousands of humans responded to the call of harmonic convergence. Return to the earth and make peace with nature. In the Yucatan, Hunbat's men, Mayan elder and daykeeper, took us to the temple of the sun in Uxmal. And he told us it was made of 18,980 stones, which is the number of days in the 52-year Pleiadian Earth cycle. This is great stuff. I love it. So as a nurse midwife, I got a little burnt out, and then I decided to work part-time and follow my nose. And as we know, everything falls into place and works. I ended up working part-time on the Lakota reservation in Rosebud, South Dakota, and taking care of the women there. I also ran a book written, and it's called Lakota Star Knowledge. And it talks about the sacred Harney Peak and how its connection with the Pleiades at its zenith is one of their ceremonial times. And the, and the Harney Peak is 7,200 feet high. It's the highest peak between the Rockies and the Appalachians. So it's a very sacred, fabulous place. And that's where they go every year to do their ceremony. And there's another Pleiadian connection. Okay, does everybody know where the Pleiades is? Because some people don't, and it's okay if you don't. But I'm gonna describe it. Okay, cool. Hi, welcome. We got one seat left for you, girl.
Please.
Yes. We knew you were coming.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, so you know where Orion's belt is? It's the 3 stars in a row. You just follow from left to right, track out, and you'll see a little cluster of 7 stars. And that's the Pleiades. My pleasure. Wrong page. Oh yeah, here I am. Now, one of Barbara Hand Clow's most recent books, it's a 2007 book, it's called The Mayan Code, and it's called also Time Acceleration and Awakening the World Mind. And she combines her prior works, such as The Pleiadian Agenda and Alchemy of 9 Dimensions. Can everybody hear me? Okay. I'm pretty loud.